I wanna share with you, and you can share with me. Come, let's share together. Oh, KTA Mobile, KTA Mobile. Technology worth sharing.
It's the future.
Ghana fue D.N.Adjei Epestin fertilizer booster. Aya purely organic. Efrasa simu ani ya de masase no oba de ensa no pe. Na menu akayo se wudro bia nim. Enti se odi yefo a anya de aduaba no anase wo a wudi no benya soso bia. Na che se be ma kwaye aye decoration kane no a ebe fa na tuma pa e de efra. Na de ma Epestin edan so kra ne se enema no wadua na ewuwo na flowers ne aduaba no etiti guo no agya wadwo a. Se wudi Epestin kanu a ene te se magic no ebe ye prom fe na aso aba bebre anwadi mu pa etise no kuafo ebenya sika ene anigye awo mabra bomu a na utimi se enya sam keto akora Epestin e mammo piafo apanifo monfrɛ ahoman na monje nkyiremu ya ehye media 0552 505723 ana plus 160 922 78043 Epestin fertilizer booster piao mama kuadwuma ayani kapa
making farming sexy again. Epestin, operation feed yourself. Epestin, plant your trees and crops.
Yo, what you for any asha for sabre yada obibiara asese. Na nyumren so yasan ahia mu biom na ye hia mu e wa hanom a ede se munyina munim emre asom dwumadi esronko a Reverend D.N.Adjei ode brain abribia anasa adwada bia dwumadi esronko a watu din say positivity with Reverend D.N.Adjei dwumadi asa wo baso a ubetie niema ebeboa wo niema ebetimi behye wo nkran niema ebeboa wo bema wasetena mu ene ona wotwe akwantuo no enso atimi akowie enti say dwumadi bi a mesrese se wo baso a bomoden se ubehye bema wo nua bi ubehye bema eye wadanfo bi sadia ono nso dwumadi ebeye mfaso ede ebema no sabre a Reverend Ajina kunya yi D.N.Adjei say nim say enne no owo niema sronko de man na de edika no yebema Reverend akwaba kese de aba aye ono nkasa dwumadie so Reverend we D.N.Adjei say yema wo akwaba de ba aye wankasa dwumadie so
we dia ebaje so na ye de nchia so de ma chiefo na ada chiefo asese na so nyame aya adom na aba beka ye hu we say it's not been easy but by the grace of God, nyamyo nshira yen se na ochibia nso ma ya ho kwan na enya ayonkufa team positivity so nti God bless every one of us.
Yo yeda asbebre megina etiefo na ahwefo nyina na emu na yede agye wo so yeda asesa abrebia wonya emre de emman sabre nsi nim se busuani nyina nso eho ye na takwa asore no nso ejina ne na so den audio mu tumrika gidi ntina chese yenim se bibiara eko as expected nti yeda asenso bebre yeda omunyina ase and I know say bibiara be appreciate you the young ones will appreciate you, the old ones will also appreciate you because when church ne oniema ode mayen no I know say enye bibiara a benefit enye the youth no pe the elderly ni kra no dia bia waka chire kra won niam bi hu no so ba betia otimi nsa ese otimi de nsakra ye bi ne changes bi eba eye na brabom ti dia meka nyina ne se erade insha ne da ase nso bebre se empo ukọ Ghana nso na abribia oma ekwan beda wo ho na otimi ene yen ebeche eye unim de ene wadesua nti sabre de na chese megia mu e de ama na dia meka nyina se ene I know say will be strong or the air brain tea and then the about the na washisha or the air brain na fi a quite at the honum na bibiara person HBR with me and the I check.
Kojo Mijiri say starting series via quite anymore a person the baby.
Mhm.
Now we're looking at dealing with the people in our lives. Yes, start here. Now you share those you classify almost difficult people.
Mhm.
Now you bobo who see an how to handle people in their life. Yes, susu say difficult people. Now, if you are cheerleaders, your motivators, and so
Mhm.
how to handle them now. But you mean say yes, you are be brain alpha series way. Now, kojo and then the person me tree adwin esi so no. It's quite sensitive. Now, me say I'm saying for one or two of us, members of the team positivity. Niema ayebeche ne nanwumre ebeboa na say nye as members ne kra na ebeboa yen ya megidi say ebeboa ya yonkofa ene say de yesiko yenim no na we ade I wanted to skip it, but it has been very difficult for me to skip it.
Mhm.
I'm dealing with hurting people.
Dealing with hurting people. Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay. You hurting them or those that have been hurt.
those that have been hurt that are around you.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, and Gojo, I think that sometimes in the say most of us, and realize it said these people are in our lives. Now day in, day out, we especially the Ejuma we and the kind of people are only omudi komono. You realize that most of the time the people around, they have issues be woma bra bomu ema omo aye hurt in kakra. And that is
Mhm.
why I thought say a experience Ebenya another series also to maybe discuss this issue and
Mhm.
see how we can position ourselves among hurting people. Now,
Mhm.
especially as counselors, especially as Christians, especially as workmates, especially as
Mhm.
family people. Yɛne abusuafoɔ daily day in day out. Then people have gone into obi wɔ hɔ a disappointment bebree bi a wakɔ mu. Obi wɔ hɔ a promise and fail bi. Obi wɔ hɔ mpo koraa a ɔde ne ho to obi so ama mpo sɛdeɛ osi bu a nipa no akɔ akɔdu mpɛmpɛnsoɔ bi a the people a wɔn ba n'abrabɔ mu no ɛyɛ nkurɔfoɔ bi a mmoa a ɔde aboa wɔn they don't appreciate it, and such people are a term as hurting people. And
Mhm.
it's experience. I been one episode on such people now,
Mhm.
not necessarily them, but on us, so
Mhm.
that we will know how to handle them when they come our way.
Sure. Sure. Yo, yeah, that's it, baby. I think say we the Reverend BB mu de aman ti si wa BB mu no BB and say won ko a wo betie so ate ase. Mesre say mo amaba so nyina share it with someone. Me may ba share on all my various platforms so me affiliated with an answer me was so. It is sounds na mesre say won so share. Na enna dusuan ebe bua wo nua bi. Ti Reverend we de na yeah that's baby nti ye beje mu de ama na and then they are all be answer what they am.
Yeah, Kojonti said you can say hurting people. Necessarily no, the yenya see this kind of topic so that we are dealing with the word hurt. And said the medical church, omo ya brabo mu day by day, yes, see echo, ye relate, ye rewra jumam, ye rewra sukumu, ye rewra bebibia, ye rewra biano. We are coming into contact with people, ye hurting people. Agojo said the medical canon, yeah, can he say so maybe a bit so line is probably you are a hurting person. And so, if you understand all these things now, it helps us so that we will rather leave positive impacts on the relationships. When you met at for or the aquaculture. Now, Kojo Yaka say hurting people. I any man me and set it through Anna. Yeah, distinguish one of the critical things most hurting people you are going through. Number one, pity. And in hurting people, no characteristics a decline a tower most of the time because of what they have gone through, no. Some of them, no, maybe have a pain, no, piano. If you are in the word, Juma, and Nichin or Sre or Bibia, but over pain, no, now, in the then you see that the tone in the voice, no, as because Sebia, he has been through a situation, he has gone through a breakup, he has gone through a disappointment, and the real self, Esha says is sure. It is showing forth as a voice of pity. And these are people are day in, day out, and they are in our lives. Now, most of the time, maybe you sensitive until we are not identifying them. But yeni omuko neba, yeni omneti asori demo, yeni omneti school demo, yeni omneti ejuma wo, yeni omu and drive poko ejuma esaba. And these people are hurting because of some issue be wawa. Esi omabra bomwa. Ama it has overcome them to the extent say, ebi asa nipa no or share the tebiani dina kwako remuna. If you say bia will lose so much to the extent say bia he cannot pick himself up once again. And so if people enter into such situations, most of the time, the first way it shows is that they become pitiful. Meaning say they pitiful, no, kojominche mukakra. Mobo kakra.
Yeah.
And sometimes that pitiful, another pity, it doesn't exist for everybody to see, unless una maybe our pain, when your opportunity to talk to such a person, one sense that sense of pity, in your voice. And where we stand, from the pulpit, most of the time you stand in the congregation, you have 200 people you are speaking to, you have 50 people you are speaking to, and so you think that everybody is the same. And we deceive ourselves to think that every member of your family is the same. And I'm so case about abusuanimu, why they abusuanima. Obia person contributing to Obia force a smile on his face or force a smile on her face. We are thinking that smile is a overall demeanor of that people. And sometimes we are not able to identify these people or more experiencing hurt in their lives. Now I think say Kojo say betimi save such people the first thing I was is to look beyond the smile so that we will be able to identify that pity now a body or more back Kojo now I say some of them you know the situation so certainly he has gone through this situation. Now, so and sometimes it's so difficult and it's also dangerous when people also cover their helpful situation because person appear weak in the eyes of the public. And could you say appear weak in the eyes of the public cover no. Most of the time, D.N.Adjei dangerous.
Okay.
Because says a tana couldn't pempen then it needs to break forth. And some tells who are quakonya kumaya rebi. Kwakonya ya a purple so then the particular episode the counselors we are people when you mediate to your baby or bepeso or benami and sona or bepoa fofo. Because that is just the first characteristics, but there's a second group of people being so they show their pity, and this second group, they show their hurt, through complaining, and so they are hurting people. Be and now say hurt, I so deep, into their heart, Whenever they lift their voice and they are talking and they are in any form of argument, you realize that there's a sense of complaint in their voice. It is probably because of a personal experience we are go through, Amma want to mean chini pen libio.
Sure.
And today be not a complainisa, they be not a complainisa. We so be complainisa. So when that chene sepa ashishemwa that complain there's an issue be over. see ya ama why you so hurtful to the extent say debia no the opinion no person complain. And Kojo, there's a third group of people one of my father in the Lord, a very Reverend Dr. Abedi Kwasi, I think a ordination retreat or can be, and it is true that hurting people are most of the time hurtful people. And sometimes they are these hurting people how they show their hurt, is through retaliation. Because you are intentional say or retaliate you. And your intentional say hurt to be a walk through be or relate to the other person. But a man about here ni paponi need to the extent say one chini pendant, one to me funny who to ni paso. And in two bones debia na kwaya was one nipano, I had tiamano, and Tikojo Mevan say obi I wa busiamuna, wa free na kumba mupa se or pese wa busiano. Ube so no kwana the investment ne resources be at the buanko for busiano na that could be or no pay him mobi. Because you can imagine situations like that. Or no pressure sanka. We being poor stretch a helping hand be a being poker up to the level or none of the boa busiano. But our expectation could pinpoint and say being ponka be pinchano and sending crowd of baby. Now, Kojo was a monoponomy baby sabio or be a one brempo dano or the piano and was one can't be who said Nipponi Yamashino. Et in yam sana a katana koma so to the extent say then I yet didn't say a or reaching out to help other people. And he's hurting and he doesn't know how to overcome that kind of hurt because was suronipa.
Sure.
And just some of them goes as far as always insulting a kind of people. There were member people in my ministry as a counselor. No, there are people you have encountered and the way they insult a lot of men. Because your own to me can be a similar line. So it's not right. But sometimes you talk to some women and the kind of hurt, body being pokrana, try to be podina, or be an annoyed, they be piefin and no more baby. Just because be our dinisika and Adjei some may be expecting say and Kabema never worry no po. Uben se bema na chitin in some sika ni monyam po what the nakodum pempen so be what Johnny Wambasa and to be piana no piana ya otipema di impokrana ni bofu. And sometimes hurting people can become hurtful people just because of the retaliation, the spirit of retaliation hurt no nipa na go through no open say why hurtful people now or say there now we have fufro but now no or on feeling any remorse because of feeling say or also has been through pain and so other people should also be through pain. Akojo mijiri so obi a otila ini so bia and I would say and say imagine your understanding is going through your family, your understanding is going through your life, your workplace, you start picturing and I say imagining the people around you. You understand that there's one person all exhibiting these signs of a hurtful person. And they are all over around us. All over around us. Maybe because Kosia Juma Nancy, I just last week now about and maybe since Juma na kwase or send a boss no there. As a umu PLP and I know as a okasa like he insults everybody at will because if you saw no bia am one wa brabum. And when he was growing up, wenya mwabia wa brabum maybe ne father no deny maybe the senior brothers, maybe the people around that no expect some come so ni mudina china baby no man so ni mo afa na china baby enti won wan kasa na wa bra wa hazel sa e dia fa brabo ni mo aba bedu sam pempen so no and he doesn't just respect anybody, he doesn't respect anybody's efforts. And so when a brabo he just disregard whoever you are and insult you just at will, just because or you're a hurting person. And these people are around us.
Mm-hmm.
These people are around us. Because in the next 15 minutes, I just want to share 1 or 2 or 3 things I was say you're sharing. So when you have hurting people around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 1, most of the time, you need to help yourself. Only a hurting person, there's a way you need to first of all secure yourself. You got to secure yourself. When hurting people are in your life, because one of the things and mistakes are once you are obey and say continuously when you deal with a hurting person, if you don't take care, you inherit the pity of such a person. Once you are one casa, so you begin to lose spirit and you begin to lose energy because that pitiful words, inherit you with pity. And so you begin to see life as a painful experience. One casano, and I'm saying one hero to be pitting, the vigor and kawasanka would develop a positive mindset. Now with me taking life by the horn, no. Now with me you're an overcomer, and because you have associated with a hurting person, one casano, one adopted the emotions of that person, I'm not drop you down. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so when there are too many hurting people in your life, you need to be very careful how you adopt their emotions. Other than that, you end up also becoming a pitiful person when you don't even know, when no other person has said to be how. But then I'm saying a hurting person associated that they be only dealing into Uber said naturally bibi aba show mu ama, it takes the shine out of your life. And sometimes it is only because you want to show up party. And to open nipa na you want to drop your emotions. So the nipa who say you are sharing in his pain, you are sharing in her pain. But the more you are sharing somebody's pain, you are sharing in some other person's pain. Now say when to me and say they want energy level now. Ube wants drop in terms of your positive mindset. And Kwajo, this one has been proven by sociology. Kwajo, the second way me too info say when they are hurting people in your life, I was here shady and they said sometimes we make decisions because of how pitiful some other people are. And Kwajo, people have entered into certain marriages because they saw pity in the eyes of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Obi wari obi because sebi obra no sebi ani yiri si ja no na bra boye basa bi na oka na asem kire wo ne ho ye omobo na o se openti sebi o ne mobro hu ne mobro na ayawo ni ntino you felt say one chia tomorrow you be adding salt to injury.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because your meaning say if you understand what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt him more. I don't want to break him down. And if you are dealing with hurting people, I want to show you anything that can be because you get emotionally attached to them, you will be responding in the affirmative in whatever they say. And
Sure.
this is also dangerous for us. As I make a movie so, but it's a serious thing that we are talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
many of us, we have entered into some contracts, we have entered into some relationships, we have entered into some associations, not because we felt like we are supposed to be there, but because we just wanted the other person now, or yet to feel a little bit happy, associated. We wanted to show apathy. Now you're say you are taking a permanent decision because of that temporal experience. Beware. Beware.
Mm-hmm.
When you are dealing with hurting people, you are supposed to help them. But you are not supposed to let their pity, make you make decisions via a affect your future. And there are certain sacrifices we are making because we wanted to help the other person. This is the reality of life.
Sure.
Because I'm not saying as Christians, it's so be na my one. That is not what I'm saying. But as we try to help the hurting person, you make sure say whatever decision will take you out of that situation, what a situation be in line with your purpose, your vision, a situation be you are ready to 100%, hold the
Sure. Matiefo, yeah, the massive I think Reverend Lionel H. is C. The Lionel H. is C. Hannah Trim. Okay, well said, Reverend. God bless you. It is our brave Emra, yeah, and I say, train, say, Reverend, be connected. No, make sure say, but more than answer, over share video, no, but more than answer, Obama, Obi nso nsa bɛka ɛyɛ video nti Reverend ɛkwan da hɔ no wobɛtumi akɔ w'anim.
Mbajokojo de mi chire mbajo ya tiase.
Patran.
And ya was ya making decisions be what because we thought about the other person. Ya was ya worry obi because we didn't want to hurt him. About the other. Obo say ya knew obi akwa starting business partner because the person felt say obi bia a person on in associate na on in business na yinama. Now, you feel say you are bonded to that person to the extent say business which tomorrow, same baby you say into now what time would seek our capital. Then you go and invest in what that person is doing because you feel pity for the person. Because
Sure.
is very sensitive, like I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hurting people
Direct to
can
me,
make
Francis. Yeah.
and I make and say some of us are counseling near there. We will feel that this episode deeper than the rest,
Mhm.
Because there are certain decisions some people have made because they had pity on other people.
Yeah.
And it has brought them down.
True.
It has brought them down. Because the third warning, so I say, as we are trying not to make hasty decisions, as we are trying not to inherit their pity, let us also not inherit their enemies.
Mhm.
When you're dealing with hurting people, the possibility of inheriting their enemies in this no. The fact that what disappoint you opinion doesn't mean say also be disappointed.
True.
And sometimes we have inherited some enemies in our lives because we're hurting a young kubi. But probably be our young kunu komodi onudi and wama the reality on the ground. Wakane kama the achro. But wama who the entie nipa krono bia emwa na o shefri nipa na fam one. And because of that, you have inherited that person as an enemy. Now, ube say bianca kwayanka wasenka nyame faso edi shira ono. Ube say na wanga san wa blocking because some hurting person doesn't want to see you with that person.
Sure.
And Kojo, these are just warning lights that I want to show. Say your best try home. Setting positivity, we are there to impact the world with positivity. But as we go and impart the word with positivity, we are going into contact with hurting people. But these hurting people, let us not inherit their pity. Let us not make decisions based on how pitiful they are. And I'm afraid, let us not inherit their enemies. Other than that, you end up becoming a bitter person because you are associated with a bitter person. Because these are just three warning lights and person we show now you shouldn't be free. But in this discussion, my mention your mommy and sent to number one. Say your person your boy or nipa or a hurting person and I say a bitter person. Because you misuse the word that bitter, you better I say. Big
Yeah.
sister, thank you so much.
Mhm.
May big sister Hannah, Yamisha.
Oh,
Me
okay.
use the word bitter, me just say better I say. If you want to help a bitter person or a hurting person, the first thing no is for you to understand the bigger picture and to help him or her understand the bigger picture.
Reverend Patrol, repeat your hobby, mommy.
Me say the first thing, and I say the most important thing, the beginning of the help, is for you
Mhm.
to understand the bigger picture. And number two, to help him or her to understand the bigger picture. Because you
Okay.
genuinely you're disappointing. But if you are one so will availing who so much to a level and then any kind so open himself up and also open herself up for such level of disappointment. And he said, humanity has said no, you shouldn't have done this. It is good for you to trust people and to want to help people, but there are certain things you shouldn't have done it. And so we are supposed to be bold enough to educate ourselves so that we understand the bigger picture. And secondly, to help the person involved, the hurting person, to understand the bigger picture. And because sometimes, the point where you hear partners say, hurting people also refuses to see opportunities around. But what they make out say, if somebody's hurting her, and I'm saying why you're bitter, when opportunity is coming or blocking.
Sure.
So if you are able to make people understand that the people who are coming to your life, they are not always liabilities. Some of them are opportunities. And sometimes too, even in your bitter moments, when you meet me, Emma breakthrough biba.
Yeah.
And so this is what we do as counselors, helping people understand the bigger picture. That one disappointment is not the end of your life. That one door closed, it doesn't mean that all doors are closed to you. And so if you're not able to bring people to that point where they understand the bigger picture and see the light at the end of the tunnel now, we will not be able to help them. Because you make a bigger picture, no say makani you know. Makani say, ebi oni pano so no bia, ono ankasa ye bibi, and it open no for that head no. And so you try to draw the person to understand instead of ya on position in such a way they be a nipa bed ever hitting. And number two, you also try to help the person understand the bigger picture so that even if the person is experiencing any bitterness and as a hurt at the moment now, the person will still have hope of recovery. And it's very essential when we are dealing with hurting people. It may be your family member, but let them know that there is hope. Because you mean, or big thing, I don't know, but maybe let me share it. The sister, teenage pregnancy, that I was telling her, I said, no, you don't have to. But at this age, she's not a woman. She's a teenager. She needs somebody to be close to her to make her understand that she can bounce back to life. You understand? Your family member will cause you a big disappointment. And we all give up on that person. No? That person needs to understand the bigger picture. So of course, I fucked up.
Yeah.
People have fucked up big time,
Yeah.
and they have been able to walk through whatever massacre they caused for themselves, and they are now big men.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we open their eyes to the bigger picture so that they see that there's still hope at the end of the tunnel. And say to me, it lessens the bitterness, A poor bitterness,
A couple. Easy.
a couple. Me better me against what I say. And yeah, easy bitterness, And number two, you generate injecting a new energy in the person so that the person would want to pick himself up.
Yeah. The person will be knowing that is not the end of him or her.
That is it. That is it.
Mm.
Then the second thing I'm saying is when you are dealing with hurting people, you make sure you attach to the person and not get yourself attached to the head. And if you easily get yourself attached to the head, you'll be speaking with the same voice to the extent that you won't know say no. Ube say now no, and I'm so attached to the head in it, Say bibi na nka obetimi atene ne kakra bi ama na akwa a positive dimension because you are more attached to the head than getting yourself attached to the person and once one lose God ama nipa ontimi free mu. I am not saying that we shouldn't show apathy. We shouldn't show sympathy. That is what I'm saying. But you should always be at least one level ahead of the person or person so that the person sees your love, but the person doesn't see you also in the emotions or experience. So that whenever he or she needs to stretch his or her hand to hold somebody, you will be above and not beneath. Because same way, colleague be an ewu na omukwa akwochia no na omo omukwa akwochia na akwa jisu ni su kwajo ene areho nipo no ire na ewu no na omukwa akwochia no they got themselves so attached to the pain to the extent that they rather ended up crying and weeping to the extent that then ono na amoma bana yenu pono no person no console aba. And in the midst of the hurting people, you always have to be that shoulder or nobody me leaning on.
Okay.
Don't attach yourself so much to the head. Your responsibility is to get connected to the person and to help the person come out of the hurt. Hurt is not what we like. Bitterness, it's not what we like. So don't get yourself connected to the bitterness. Connect yourself to the person, pull him out of the bitterness. Because the last thing I make, and I say, as we try to help hurting people, sometimes we may need further knowledge, concerning the situation. Until you reach out to experts and you lead the person to experts. Say a situation one gasano, ubeti expert be nkomo na wache mwa. You can go ahead and do it. Because most of the time people call me and say, also for my madam Fubia, also for my roommate, and it comes a bad da. Etibia wakwa room be and wakwa roommate be. The roommate is a hurting person. And sometimes they call you and they are telling you the situation. How am I going to help such a person? And that is good. So in that instance, who experience a hurting person in your life, you are reaching out to an expert or somebody you think that can help you out. Now, when you're in baby, when you're whatever kind of guidance or bit with the amount, to go and help or to relay that help, to the hurting person. But if it is too difficult, sometimes be bold enough to push people to people who can really help them. Na debi America say you can't help. Na nya abusuan panyin for help asem na America. Obi wa problem bia ye dey call abusuan panyin. If it's a medical problem, direct the person to a medical person. If it's a legal problem, let a lawyer come in. Whatever the person going through or hurting, you can put a definition on it. If he needs a counselor, I didn't say a pastor, I said a counselor. Direct the person to a counselor. Sometimes when experts come in, they know how to handle it and how to make the person come out of that pain. Go through. Let me just go over na sebimpo ana question biwo. What I'm saying is that ya Christopher, Juma, family members here, always they are hurting people in our lives. Yɛmfa yɛni to form enti na yɛnhu yɛ. You need to form a people say always there are people in their lives are almost containing a sense of bitterness. Some bitterness it show when they are worse in Debiano almost demonstrate bitterness and not pity or more voice. Number two, sometimes they complain. They are always complaining about a particular thing. If you are not they are not complaining and near maybe for somebody a PPA a fast out there one they be complaining. And I'm afraid most of the hurting people sometimes they become hurtful because afraid no on person in any betu nipa so obi na no a satendidie nko ne abufusem bia no ebia there's a particular tribe they bia no insult you sometimes because basically no is hurting because of a reason. So these are the three types of yeka. And I make my warning signs to be said as you want to help them no, make sure you don't inherit their bitterness. Make sure you don't inherit their enemies. And make sure you don't make decisions because you feel pity for them. Because when the pity is no longer there, no, that decision will remain. Say our na who ni mobonti who na I feel be free to be any mono. Now if why your boss no better say no kra na hu nyem mobo. There was sacrifice capital to help that person now. Obe free to be any moment say say okra no kra na skaba na nimu no so yedwe kakra. You don't make big decisions because you feel pity for certain people. So these are just three warning lights that make I want to. Then I came back said you person you boy hurting people. The first thing now you was here is to understand what the person is going through. And number two, to also help the person to understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture na make an say the unknown one who Emma hurt never no obuanu to no afremo. Number two, no, that hope at the end of the tunnel, no, be able to say point it to the person. Now onipan onya energy. Now who say all is not lost. Now onipan to come out of the problem. Number two, now make us say, yeah, attaching yourself to the person, not to the bitterness of the person. And I'm afraid, make us say, as you try to help the person, we be here some guidelines from an expert. And now so be here to refer nipano ediama expert. So the bear will be help cry or shoshano, never puano, ama we free sa hurtful situation anymore. I am hoping that we can end our dealing with people today. This is something on my heart, and I'm a person. Many years now as we come into contact with hurting people, as we go through life, when you making the salt in their lives, there is some sweetness be at the people my brabo. When you mean
Amen, amen. Yeah, that's very Sabri Owahanam Nasa or question be answer or any message be at the Reverend Messrs. A kind of one ubit me at the Abba. In case of person oba on screen, so ubit me, I'm a man who must send a link now what me about the kind of screen. So Reverend hurting topic way. It was a topic every person once in their life they've encountered it, but there was situations maybe more if you won't me identify early until by the time you realize now say are you too late. Somebody might ask, what are some of the signs obishas yes oyina abema obehu se nipa no hurted hurt.
Yeah, because sometimes it all begins with what you know the former self of the person. The move a be a nipa na ye ne nam yan shede nim ni yenti sisamba yehu. And so I think that most of the time they say nipa ye very observant. Ye ni nipa na ma you take time to know the person. Hana na make say I told everyone the picture or channel. I was just funny there, but I was just telling her, say sometimes the picture she shows, sometimes she face and I say, oh, this girl is cheerful. This girl is she lazing around. This girl picture here, I say exams in a team, and it's true. They are very observant. Even the picture across the two, the comments are also social media.
Social
Open
media.
sending status view or the other. Sometimes you can quote if you are very sensitive, you can identify say this comment with the binipe one tesa.
True.
And he said, I am very observant. There are these little things, pieces of information. You put it together, we see the change in a person. Besides the American, another marker said, Obi wa once so when you're that broken heart now, a feno now about a complainer, habitual complainer. Obi wa once so about a headful. They be an ibuofu baby, be an ibuofu because Obi akwa command broken heart be o baby. And Obi so then genuinely no or show bitterness when you are alone with that person. Then if you have all these things that say Bibi asesa e me bayimu, then you take the next step. The next step is to understand the bigger picture and to help the person understand the bigger picture.
Yeah, and this Reverend, they are working, and I'm not some because of pain and as a hurt now and experiencing, I'm being rebellious anytime. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter
Excellent.
what you say. They won't even have time
Excellent.
to analyze whatever you're doing. They will just fire back and answer because they've made their mind and I say ABR and such people also I think some almost generalize the idea because they don't have the time to single out Niamabi. On single out BBR or funny say Ubia Sano Biati and answer Sana say TNT before
But you
say
mentioned this short testimony. By the grace of God, I've had as many as 3 people using an expression that makes me happy. Hey,
okay.
nobody has told me and said it this way. But the way you said it, I'm not making a home. Baako na yɛ ne sikasɛm, baako na yɛ ne moral life, baako nso so na yɛ adwuma bi a ɔwura mu. Nkɔdwo, I remain quiet, listen to the situation, and I tell the part baako no deɛ nkɔdwo menka ne say mpo ɔne ne maame ntɛm mpo kura na afei no she had decided sɛ ɔne ne maame ntɛm no because maybe a ɔbɛbɛn mɔmi no bi and then the hurt is too much.
Yeah.
And ɔyɛ so hurting. And I may train that dream so na make a chance so they are now your mama no were you doing it for her or you are doing it as a responsibility? Because I asked that this simple question. Or do you want say Debio, na ya me masudie na me. So ya me responsibility na me and it is not getting me the kind of cheers I may expect to say back at me. It's getting me the hurt, What about the blessings and I'm free, If I'm bowing down, that means that I'm also bowing down to blessings and kamede. Many free mo. Ojo ti ami kan ti say, I'm very sorry say my share obi issue or this nine so. But sometimes you have to.
So one more thing, at least the person is protected.
Yeah.
Even if the person is listening or watching, now please, your name wasn't mentioned. Don't get worried. Nobody knows you. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Because you put the make what you say. And now she understands the bigger picture. That it's about how the mother feels, it's about how she feels, and it's also about the blessing associated with the man oil. And so it is hurtful. But now she's doing it, not expecting any cheer from the mother, because ofina kuma ye because she changed rana at the frame. To a friend oyana on tipping be the mammy be on tipping to the near man koyana mammy sa the chair. But she didn't feel any pain because she knows that Nyamene de to na kuma so na why de ana why.
Okay, and Reverend Adia Bakwa me pese me de count and say I think that in life, sometimes when we're doing things for people, thinking that they're going to pay us back. Sadly, and see idea a problem kasi. Inti I will entreat each and everyone on here say, oh yeah, dear, never expect way back because and then I want you to head, because you expect is the person will reach out to you, and as well, Reverend, right now, my mindset on Niamabi has changed, and I don't take Niamabi serious. To be frank with you, may the media to honor just for people to maybe no BTA. So, your program. I don't mind. It can be your wedding. It can be one of the biggest events. If you don't invite me, I'm here. Never think that I'm worried. Because me force us at time na as I say be high and as soon as I'm framing as soon as and yet necessary. But with our community, sometimes obey your program. Fly a kekekra, nidia maswa, it becomes a problem.
A big problem.
Also be a brother, na another sister, or yeah program. Was send a flyer. Obi to me request to say one fan envelope man brem. At the end of the day, what is the envelope and the invitation going to do to you? If you really, really love the person, just show up. Go support the person. Before say your mindset with our way of thinking and doing maybe I see a timmy a tree and free kakra. Because unless our heads, will be a lot. And the insurance we will keep on paying people back differently. MY. Now, one last thing I'm person with the count is Reverend who said this health issue, marriage is small. A woman be brave. Marriage is small. A woman be brave. People are so hurt. If one man say cheating and I say we but sometimes assembly be kind, it be an hurt partner. A hurt partner, a bit me affecting emotionally. Now, dear Bakwa, me then say, yet me find it out. Situations yɛde yɛn ho ɛhyɛ saa nipa no situation no na try say you better bring it down nipa out to let the person know that there is a better way out there. It's where the bibi kakra bi America yɛn nyinaa yɛyɛ nipa. Sometimes we might do things that we might not know say we hurting our partners or we hurting anybody in our life, but immediately we see those changes now. It's a Reverend Bobo also now yɛn try say you best be free yɛn nneɛma dada bi ho. It's Reverend, our idea now. Kakakra, me pese o kakakra, it trafa hon mo kakra because I know say
the awari
in Crawford issues. I can say in Crawford are being hurt so much in terms of marriage. It's my just brief.
Because the kind of investment you have to make in marriage, Because the other time I make us say obi share joke be na or say awari or can awari say obi ko wari na osuma nipa no obi say enti empa na amukwa koda so no fa na usu. You understand? No kwada ne mpa so no watima di market ya na misu aha na me person me baba me name me baba me name but you are two people going to lie on the same bed, so you don't even have the bed to yourself, so you can't demarcate where you cry. And it was a joke, but it's realistic. In marriage, you make sacrifices.
Yeah.
And so say sacrifices, when you respond to it, it is very helpful.
Sure.
Very, very helpful. But we side with you. We agree. Say whatever investment you made into your marriage, because you are even sacrificing your body, your emotions, all your secrets, and the person disappoints you big time because you are not a broken heart never. But most of the time, on Team Positivity, we have always said that make every experience educational.
Yeah.
That has been one of our motto on Team Positivity. Make every experience educational. And my experience be Emma Majeo will present new future. Every experience you are going through, make I say me what Denver, we dealt with the season be say whatever that has brought us to this part is our yesterday, it's our Bekaya. And whatever we are doing from now is our today. Let today influence your tomorrow. And we did that series, so Bekaya. And indeed, we are advising ourselves, say, I'm sure, Yanshe, will be building a better tomorrow for ourselves because in your disappointment, be free marriages. Let us pray about the things that are going on in our marriages. Could you please, if you need an expert in your marriage, open up. There's nothing wrong with talking to a doctor about your marital issues. There's nothing wrong with seeking a lawyer's advice in your marital issues. There's nothing wrong in seeking a counselor's advice when you're going through hurt in your marriage. Please, if you are in such a situation that you need help, open yourself up, talk to somebody. Let a person give you some expert guidelines here. At least minimize bitterness. Now, me achieve and bebre. And the America church wants to say there was a witch so be ready to let go because a year term ain't me maybe. Obana Grana when Tambo Bikro be our or you'll be and it won't come back, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. When you're on Shrine, until any munche. No, I'm thinking, let us think positive. In all our saying, let us talk positive. In all our actions, let us act positive. And we pray we achieve positive results. God bless all of us.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reverend Wediana. I think that Ahana Yadi Jumadi no Ebesim Tiwedi. Matthew for Niasha Yanimo AD and Crown. As I had said, the Biamunya a break at the mind. Tisabris Monty and Cambium Diana and Reverend D.N.Adjei na Yanimo AD and Crown. As I had be Brisa Abribia Munya Emre Eba Kayo.
Ghana fue, ye dia na bayo, ye